Hi there, welcome back to the coronavirus series in which I'm looking to inspire people to feel happier in the world we live in. In the first session of this series, I talked about a greater context on the coronavirus. So I shared with you some energetic ideas and patterns in the world that maybe show us that the coronavirus is part of transition into a new world, into a different world. So what I'm saying in that, what I sort of said in the first session, is maybe the world needs to get sick before it gets better. And you know, we've seen a lot of good things happening in the world. For example, canals in Venice which are clearer, cities that are no longer covered in smog, people applauding for healthcare workers. So we're starting to appreciate people more for what it is that they do. So that was really the first part of the series. Now I want to talk about how I believe the coronavirus is trying to send us a message and maybe sharing with us an idea and a concept that we need to start to look at. So maybe it is all about giving us the opportunity to self-reflect, to take us out of the busyness and actually start to look at what it is that is going on in our lives. So I started to refer to this book. It's called The Body is the Barometer of the Soul. And I started to refer to that when the coronavirus first came out. Because the first thing I ever do when I hear somebody has an illness or a sickness or a discomfort or male pattern baldness like I have going on, I always look in this book to get an understanding of what maybe is going on. I've seen statistics that say 97% of illnesses are related to stress when people go and see a doctor. But there's also situations and people that are saying that heart disease can be caused by emotions. And actually there has been some research done that people who are angry have 7 times more chance of getting a heart attack or something like that. So there is evidence out there that proves that emotions are associated with disease. So I always look at this and I always say to people, when something is going on, you really need to start to listen to your body, find out what's going on, and then start to deal with it. So if something happens and you have an injury, not only deal with the physical part, but you also need to deal with the emotional part. I mean, a lot of people say when they, for example, break a leg or when they have a heart attack, it says it made them stop, it made them slow down and made them reflect on their life. So when the coronavirus hit, that's exactly what I decided to do. I thought, okay, what is the world trying to tell us? So the first thing I did is I actually looked for the term virus in this book and I couldn't find it. Then I started to pay attention to what the virus was actually doing. It was affecting our airways, it was affecting our lungs, and it was affecting our breathing. So I went in this book and I found different parts of it. I started to look and read about what it says about lungs, about breathing in and breathing out, and also asthma. So what I like to do next is I like to talk you through a few of these passages that I read in this book. So first, I like to start to talk about asthma. I know it's not really asthma, but I believe that it's impacting the lungs and the breathing. So for me, it's quite, I'm just putting it on the same level in this one. I know it's not asthma, so don't tell me it is going to be asthma, but I'm just kind of creating the link to it. And you see when I read through it, that the concept of what's been said in the lung is really quite similar to what it's said in asthma. So first it says it starts in chakra 1, which is the base chakra. So it says self-acceptance. You are not being satisfied with yourself, and that is your running nose. Then it goes to your chest area. By not being satisfied, you start doing things that are not in your best interest and driving yourself to do things that your parents think you should do, so that other people will notice you. Doing things the way others want you to do. When you cannot breathe, you are not enjoying life because you're not being devoted to yourself. Difficulty breathing in. Not loving yourself enough to enjoy life. Difficulty breathing out. Not being able to give your love with ease. And finally, lungs. Make sure You are doing things your way. Once I was reading this, I suddenly had this feeling, oh my God, this is exactly what it is about. I mean, think about it. A lot of people living a life the way they think they should be living. I mean, from a very young age, we get told what we should be doing. We should go to college. We should go to university. We should get a house because when you have a mortgage, it's going to give you stability. We've been told by media that we need to dress in a certain way. We're told that we need to drink a certain soft drink because we're going to be cool. We're going to be being told that we are in need of health insurance or life insurance because that is the way that we show our family that we care for them. When we grow up, we have friends in our teenage years that tell us what we have to do, how we act, and how we should be dressing. There's so much peer pressure on us. There's religion that tells us we have to behave a certain way. There's communities and cultures that tell us we have to behave in a certain way. So there's a lot of stuff around in life that tell us how we should be behaving. And this is the difference, and I always talk about this. I always talk about purpose. So you have your should be self, and you have your true self or your authentic self. Your should be self is saying, oh, I should have done that, I could have done that, this could have done better, and all of those things. But authentic self is really turned inwards and is in tune with what is right for them. So this is also a big difference. The should be self will be lots focused on the external, what's happening outside of them. They will look at the other people, how they act, how they behave. They will measure themselves by the standards of others. So for me, there's the should be self is externally focused and the true authentic self is internally focused. But with internally focused, I mean the person is in tune with themselves, but then uses their inner strength and inner knowledge and inner awareness about who they are and what they are to support people around them, kind of creating a ripple effect, becoming a leader in the community, becoming a leader in their business. And that is how that person then can start to develop the world and make the world a better place. Because this is another thing that people really struggle with. What can I do in this time of the coronavirus? A lot of people trying to change the world, but nobody's considering how they can make their own world better. And when they make their own world better, everything around them will get better. So that is really the message for today. It is about turning inward. And what is happening in the coronavirus? We've been told we have to isolate ourselves. We cannot hang out with people anymore. We have to distance ourselves from our close friends. We can't go and party. We can't go out and drink. We can't do any of these things. So it means that we are locked up in our bedroom and we have to focus on ourselves. We have to be with ourselves. We have to spend time with ourselves. And that is really what is currently happening. And that can be really challenging for some people. But it is really about people taking the time to step back and to start to think about themselves. Who am I? What am I about? What is my life? What is my life worth? Am I doing what it is that I love to be doing? Or am I doing what I should be doing? And this is going to then provide a great opportunity to actually start to develop, to start to create some awareness of where it is that you want to go. It's going to allow you to say, hey, you know what? I am in a really good space actually, but what can I do with my success, with my happiness, my position in the world to make the world a better place? And that is what true leadership is about ultimately. You don't think anymore, what can I do for myself or what can other people do for me? But you start to think, hey, you know what? I am such a great person. What can I do for everybody else? And you do that by improving yourself and focusing on yourself. And so maybe this is really what it is that the universe is trying to tell us. Maybe this is why the coronavirus has been brought onto us. Because it is only about showing us a way of slowing down. And it's about showing us that maybe, it is time for us to reflect on ourselves, to spend time with ourselves, to get back in contact with ourselves, because a lot of people are afraid to look at themselves because of what it is that they see, or because they don't know how to move forward. But so this is the positive message in this. This is an opportunity for you, for me, and for everybody else to kind of reflect on themselves, to realize what makes them happy, and then to decide whether they are getting that from their lives at the moment. And if not, then this is the opportunity as well to start to work out on how you can make this better for you now and in the future. So when we get back to a normal life, we all become a bit more focused on who we are, so we can start to provide better benefit to those around us. So that was it today. So today was all about getting an understanding of a message that maybe the coronavirus is trying to share with us. In the next part of this series, which will also be the final part of the series, I will share you my personal experience of this and how I've been using some of these ideas and how it is helping me to feel more positive about the situation we're in. Please share me your ideas in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Please understand, I don't believe that people that have been suffering because of the coronavirus or because of fires or anything like that are to blame, or that I don't feel sorry for them. I think it's really terrible what's happening to people and what's happening in the world. But we also need to look for a way forward. And the message that I'm sharing with you hopefully allows you to move forward as well.